Hi folks, I'm Marcel, back with the Pulse. Today I'm going to expose some flat-out lies that you've been told about the supplement industry, the drug industry, the FDA. I want to dispel some myths because we hear these things so often that people don't believe them anymore. So I just want to spell out some things for you. Now, first of all, I'm going to talk about NMN today. I'm going to talk about the de facto ban that's been instituted by the FDA. And for those of you not in the US, I want to remind you again, if you are taking NMN right now, and the FDA has their way with NMN in the United States, you will be paying more for NMN, and it will become riskier to purchase NMN because you won't have the oversight that does take place. So the first lie I want to address is the fact that many people say in the media that the supplement industry is an unregulated industry, and that is just not true. If you want to see how regulated supplements are, then just show me a supplement company that makes a disease cure claim, and I will show you how regulated they are. They're absolutely regulated. Another case in point is NMN was removed from $1 trillion worth of platforms with one letter. Yet the FDA says they took no action. Now there's a lie right there, right? FDA took no action on NMN. They absolutely did. They wrote a letter and had it removed collectively by $1 trillion worth of platforms. If you add up the value of Amazon, Walmart, iHerb, YouTube, you're going to get over $1 trillion. So they're telling you, well, we took no action. That's an absolute lie. Then they put it, how did they get it removed? They wrote one letter and then put it on one list with a database that's run by LegalScripts. So they go to this database and they say, hey, put NMN on here. We wrote this letter. Here's the evidence. But then they say to the public, to us, there is no action taken yet. We are still deciding what to do. We've got competing priorities at the agency. And, you know, we're going to make a decision and we're going to respond to this citizen petition at some point. Now, the citizen petition, we can talk about the enemies of NMN, and there are many. But if you talk about the proponents of NMN, they are very important. And that's why I come to you, because public outcry is the number one defender of this natural molecule. Now, what are we talking about with NMN? It's a natural molecule in concentrated form. Let's be honest. What we're really defending here isn't just NMN. It's your right to take natural ingredients in concentrated form. That's the only argument they have that it could be a drug. Well, it's in concentrated form. Well, everything you take, every vitamin you take is in concentrated form. So if they can take NMN, they can take anything. I've said this many times, and billion-dollar supplement companies have said the same thing. We can't put any investment into R&D. If they are able to take NMN, they can take anything. So we can't develop any natural ingredients. So we're not just defending NMN here. We're defending your right to take any natural ingredient in concentrated form. Now, there are a few judges who will side on the public side. Like, they will make a decision based on, and this has happened with NR. One of the opponents of NMN is the NR industry, or Chromadex. And they lost 3 times to a judge who said, I'm sorry, NR exists in milk. It's a natural ingredient. You haven't made a case that it should be a patentable ingredient. And so we have some judges siding on the public side. So what do we really have defending us? We have you, we have me, we have public outcry in general. We have some trade organizations that can file citizen petitions, and those can be very powerful. We saw it in the case of NAC, and really what we have, just sort of realized this recently, we have enforcement discretion right now ongoing with NMN because, well, FDA says they've taken no action, right? And they haven't taken definitive action, but they have stopped the sale of NMN at $1 trillion worth of platforms. So they have taken action. At the same time, they can claim, well, we haven't done anything yet. So what does that mean? That really is enforcement discretion. Where they learned from NAC is by stating, hey, we're going to exercise enforcement discretion, Amazon and the other platforms put NAC back up for sale again. So they're trying to block that from happening, I think, this time with NMN by not saying there's an enforcement discretion and just letting an enforcement discretion policy sort of happen by not doing anything now for a year and a half since they wrote their letter. Now, why is the FDA able to do this? And why is Sinclair really, and I've said he's winning, but he's also right? He's a member of the drug industry. Metro International Biotech is a drug company. The drug industry pays a huge part of the FDA's budget. Now, a lot of us say this, but we say it in a way that is sort of a conspiracy, right? We say, hey, FDA gets their money from the drug industry, but we don't ever connect the dots. But if you look it up, it's called user fees. The medical industry and the drug industry pay $150 million every year for the FDA to fight their battles for them. Whether it's a safety battle, whether it's a trademark defense, or whether it's drug preclusion over the supplement industry, they're paying for that. So the FDA is just doing what they're paid to do by the drug industry. Make no mistake about it. They're not just against NMN because, they want to help David Sinclair. I mean, that may be a trigger for this. Like, I'm sure that personal relationships are going on because David Sinclair's talked about them. And it's the only thing that really makes sense because FDA is on the losing side of this. Once it gets in front of a judge, he's going to side with milk. He's going to side with natural ingredients. Let's make no mistake. The FDA receives a lot of money for this. They are paid to do this. Who else is against the supplement industry? The media. The media, as I've said, has said many times, it's an unregulated industry, but it is regulated, as I told you at the outset. Social media is certainly an enemy of NMN, simply because they're going to toe the line. They're going to do whatever is on the legal scripts list. And I didn't know this at the outset. I didn't know how this was going to go down. I didn't know that this channel was going to be suppressed and I was going to have this sort of shadow ban where I've had a reduction of 70% of my views. I didn't know this was going to go on, but now we've found out. We've pieced this together and we could say, okay, FDA is being paid by the drug industry. They're putting it on a drug industry list. I don't even know where Legal Scripts. I'd like to know more about Legal Scripts. I'd like to know where they get their funding. I have a good suspicion, just as all of these companies are getting their funding. Sinclair, FDA, the media, social media, they're all paid by the drug industry, right? It's all pay for play. And they're getting favoritism towards pharmaceutical drugs because that's where the money comes from. The FDA gets their money from them, $150 million a year, a third of their budget. The media is paid hundreds of millions of dollars every year in advertising dollars, as is social media. If you're in the United States and you watch any YouTube, you're going to see drug ads. You're going to be bombarded with drug ads. It's very simple for the drug industry to say to YouTube, hey, we'll pay you for these ads, but you have to go by this Legal Scripts list. And then you get substances removed that are on that list, whether or not the FDA claims they've taken any action or not. It's kind of crazy. Something's broken. Something in this whole process is broken and needs to be exposed. And whether it's just my little channel here talking about it, and then maybe the media starts to cover it a little bit, or at least Josh Long, who's been covering this, he and I sort of have this mutual attention where he looks what I'm doing, I look what he's doing. He's way better at this than I am. He's way better connected than I am. He's way better situated and positioned to get information than I am. And I'm very honored that he watches this channel so much because we do exchange thoughts and information and emails because I feel like we're fighting on your side. We're fighting on the side of the public, and we need your outcry. We really do need your outcry to win this battle against all of these entities telling these big lies to you. So getting back to it, the major lies that I see are FDA is a government agency. No. They're not really a government agency. In part, they are, but they're funded in large part by the drug industry. Supplements not being regulated? No, supplements are regulated. Just make a disease cure claim and you'll find out. And also, they only need to write one letter that doesn't really have a defining action attached to it. And the substance gets removed, whether or not it's a natural ingredient, it's safe, and it's wildly popular. Somehow, NMN has grown by 50% a year, even in the face of this ban. It's remarkable. Just imagine how mainstream NMN would be by now had we not lost nearly 2 years of momentum. It's just stunning. So those are the lies of the anti-NMN crowd, the NMN enemy crowd, that are exposed here, and I hope this gets more attention. It deserves your attention. It deserves to have light shed on it. It deserves for people to know what's going on and ask the questions. If I'm wrong, show me I'm wrong. Don't just get in the comment section and say, you're wrong. Show me where I'm wrong, okay? I welcome your comments. Please like and subscribe. Subscribe to this channel to keep getting updates. The only chance that we have to keep growing and to keep fighting these battles. And I will see you again real soon.